music in a white man's body?
Well, God, you can't contain them into a style of music. I would say it's more a phenomenon.
I would compare him to sort of a traveling medieval balladeer, weaving in stories on the spot.
I'm out of the box and I'm stuck in the car.
Lunch in the box.
I'm living the life and I'm eating a knife.
Oh, shit! Philosophically, I would align him with the beginning of philosophy, really. I think Pearly Sweets really gets to the root of the question of what is truth. You know, what does it mean to be standing in front of other people, talking?
I want to be your wife! I'm feeling the flow and I'm saying, give me some more.
What a show! You know, obviously Henry Miller, I see a lot of allegiances between what his project of trying to try to say the truth in the most scatological and grotesque possible ways.
Let's go, let's hurry this up because Carl has to go to the bathroom.
I saw Pearly Sweets 2 years ago at the Ziggy Stardust concert. I went in there and took my seat, and then I walked over to where my boyfriend was sitting, and I poured coffee on him.
If you do take a girl on a date to a Pearly Sweets show, it's better to sort of like block her path of vision or blindfold her.
Pearly Sweets, like the lead singer, he is so cute. He is the hottest person that I've ever met in my whole life. Ooh.
He towers above the normal human.
He somewhat looks like a Jewish horse.
Oh, good luck.
Thank you.
It's important to be nice to everybody. Hi, Danny. How's it going? Fine. What statements would you be willing to make about his sexuality?
Amusing. It kept me up at nights, I gotta say.
I thought that he was gay.
Yeah, the shoot took place in the rain, and he was great. Although I have my suspicions about his sexuality, and so I think, in a sense, he was living out a bit of a gay fantasy, sort of singing in the rain.
Across the boards, you know, really big appeal with girls ages 8 and under and men ages 50 and over.
I'll do anything for Pearly, he knows that.
What do the words Pearly Sweets mean to you?
Idolatry, adulation, beauty.
Yeah, one time it got so extreme, we just got done with band practice and we were in my room just hanging out, and this particular member went so far as to, he was watching a snuff film, he kind of gets off on snuff films, and he went so far as to, on the screen was this girl. I mean, this is really, really traumatic. I can't believe I'm telling you this, but this girl was being beaten and raped and cut up and mutilated right there in front of us, and he taped a picture of Pearly's face right on the screen where her face would be, right on the screen from some flyer he found in the street, and was just staring at the screen and just kept mumbling things to himself, and we just knew that the time was right to let him go. It was
I see him on stage, and I get so proud and I get so excited.
Yes, he's very sexy, very strong, very powerful on stage. Throws things, kicks things, very barbarous almost.
Sometimes he likes to ride on the floor.
Yeah.
I find it very attractive.
It's very attractive.
Sex is rhythmic. Sex is about in and out and in and out. And Pearly has always represented sex for me.
There's a sense of bodily pollution.
I remember thinking that the name Pearly Sweets was kind of grossly obscene. And
How could it be taken obscenely?
well, I thought it was a reference to semen.
No, I think it was more the length of his penis that that kind of scared me.
Has being in the band improved your sex life?
I think it probably has.
Definitely the exposure of being one of the Pearl Drops has greatly improved my sex life.
When you come down to his cultural significance, he is a phallus. He's sort of the phallus that we dance about poorly because we're white.
Why does he write misogynist lyrics, or lyrics that some might find misogynist?
He's a man. He is a man.
Pearly Sweets' exploitation of women. Sure, yeah.
Well, he has this strange fetish for nipples. And I think that has a lot to do with it, why he insists on doing outdoor shows in the cold while we're just wearing, you know, small tube tops and short skirts.
I find he's one of the biggest misogynists in pop culture today.
If there ever was a prosogynist, it's Pearly Sweets.
Pearly Sweets taught me one thing about women. It's a stereotype, but it's one that I find largely to be the case. It's women who laugh at the jokes, and it's men who make the jokes. That's the rule. That's the law of nature.
I was offended by his lyrics.
What aspects of the lyrics
Well-
were offensive?
Well,
Rampant misogyny.
the rampant misogyny, you know.
His relationship with women. He's a dog. Yeah.
What were your impressions of his fashion sense?
Awkward. He doesn't seem to be dressing for any particular effect.
What isn't wrong with his wardrobe?
I don't consider him to be someone who has a fashion.
It's more of a, you know, a fashion show in the sense that he just wants to show you what's out there.
I'd like to see him in an ascot.
You know, when I first saw him dance, I accidentally called 911. I didn't know that he wasn't epileptic.
Hi.
I was talking to my grandma, and I said, you know, Grandma, you think Pearly Sweets has a high opinion of himself? And she said, definitely.
What is his worst on-stage characteristic?
Arrogance. It's also his best.
It can be very difficult. You know, again, I remember the first time that he threatened me with a gun. But it was more like a loving thing. It's more a matter of respect, you know? I mean, a lot of people just don't understand the way he does things.
Do you think he treats people nicely?
His statements are nice.
Like I said, he definitely seems to have a darker side. That Pearly.
Abe? Abe, come on. Like, it's 8 o'clock. We're supposed to meet half an hour ago.
Pearly Sweets is not a team player.
What is it like to be the backup singers for Pearly Sweets?
Well, actually, first of all, we prefer to be called vocal support consultants. We really don't like to be degraded by being called backup singers.
I was a big fan of the Pearl Drops. I thought that they were not always prepared and seemed to miss cues, but I liked the aesthetic that they represented.
What is your degree of artistic input into the operation?
Very little.
I mean, on stage, it's kind of like, you know, Pearly's pretty much in charge.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce a song that I'd like to anti-dedicate to my bandmates because I'm the only one in the group who likes the song. Do you perform any of your own music in the band?
Well, he's offered me that opportunity, but in that context, it just feels like I'm selling myself out.
Pearly Sweets had a lot of worries about being put on the poster wrong. And I remember getting maybe 2 or 3 calls in a single week saying, "Hi, this is Pearly Sweets. Please put Pearly Sweets on the poster and not my other name."
Why does he feel the need to adopt this egomaniac persona?
I think to hide massive insecurities.
Yes, very insecure.
There is undoubtedly an insecurity that comes through in the lyrics, in, you know, the occasional use of the major seventh.
Oh, Pearly, Pearly Sweets. Yeah, he razzle-dazzles everybody that he meets. And when he screams on that stage, with his hands up there in fits of rage, you know, he's a mighty fine lover.
Would he make a good companion?
To whom? Like, as a house pet? Oh, for a woman.
Now he goes for the girl groupie thing.
Women that are real star fuckers.
Well, sometimes he makes us sit on his lap when we rehearse, you know, but again, it made us be part of the artistic process, and we can't really question it.
You know, sometimes when you're just not getting into the groove of the song, it helps to sit on the songwriter's lap.
Right, like all together.
Feel the rhythm and the melody and the harmony through his body.
I originally was not a big fan of when Pearly kind of went electric. But of course, my father was at that show where Bob Dylan went electric back in Newport, and everybody called him crazy.
When he was acoustic, there was still some Jew in him. But then he went electric, and I'll never forget that. We screamed out Judas, and he told us we were lying. I think it was the biggest mistake Pearly ever made.
I think that social influence, pushing him to be, you know, talk about women derisively, is also counteracted by having a very powerful and almost embarrassingly supportive mother. So.
What is his relationship like with his mother?
It's a pretty good relationship, though sometimes he'll forget to send an anniversary card or a Valentine's Day card.
Hello? Mom? And I don't know if this is the best time to bring this up, but I've been a little short on money, and I was wondering if you could send up like a couple $1,000 just so I can make it through to the end of the year. No, I haven't been irresponsible. It's just that there's been some things that have come up that I haven't anticipated. Don't start crying. Mom, I'm sorry, all right? Oh. Well, happy birthday. I totally forgot. I always think of her as having like a summer birthday, you know? And then I don't have to remember.
This is my very best one. It is a Mickey Mantle, 1966, worth $175.
Do you ever feel like your native punk values contrast with the more crass commercialism of Pearly Sweets?
Only very infrequently. Only when we find ourselves playing gigs for Catalyst Recruiting.
Pearly Sweets, though, has seemed to move back in the direction of the sort of financial wizard of the rock scene.
What might stop him from developing further?
From superstardom, the departure of Carl Earhart, who I think in some ways is the soul of the band.
He's just as human as the rest of us. You know what he's doing right now? He's unzipping that plug, right? What else is he doing? He's whipping out something. I'm not going to say the name of it, but it's a body part. He's back right here.
And the singular image of Carl and that guy's, I think, for me, was an image of calm security in oneself, you know? That Pearly Sweets would be bantering and talking, but Carl was silent, Carl drummed.
Is there a sense of content?
Content. It's coming too close to like the Red Hot Chili Peppers or something like that. I don't know, I just remember the guitarist from that band, like when he quit, watching VH1, they were interviewing him, and it just seemed like he was very dissatisfied with where they were. And then, you know, after his heroin addiction got done with, he came back to the band, but I don't really relate to that part, but like, I don't know, the songs, playing them over and over again, I just need a new scene more frequently.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good is it to be in Pearly Sweets and the Platonics?
4.
Do you think this night was a success?
I feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
Because I'm tired of playing these songs.
Does Pearly Sweets speak for the Jewish people?
No, he's abandoned them.
Do you think he's phony?
It's tempting to think so, but as I said, that phoniness is such a part of him that it's not phony anymore.
Much like Van Gogh, he seems to be in a world of his own.